I'm going to go with this one first. Okay. When we're talking about deals, deal or no deal, the first thing I'm always going to ask you is there motivation? Why? Because if there's no type of motivation, there is absolutely no deal on the table. And you have to understand that. Okay. So when we talk today, I'm going to ask you what the motivation is. You should have a clear, definitive way to go. And if you don't, that should give you hints on where your deal is going. So many of the issues in wholesaling can be solved just by finding out people's motivation. Motivation is the number one factor if someone's going to give you a good deal or not. And here's a little secret. Price alone is not motivation. It's just not. Okay. If price was the sole motivation, the property has to go to MLS because we cannot solve the highest price. Okay. We want to know what they need to get for the property, but it can't solely be the qualifying factor for somebody selling their house. Because what do I teach you guys? We're going to pay the lowest amount we can for that house. So if that's the only thing we got our hat to hang on, we're in big trouble. So keep in mind, you always have to seek motivation first before you seek anything else out when you're dealing with a seller. And that's going to be the first thing it tells you if it's a deal or a no deal. I promise you, when I talk to everyone today, it's the first thing I'm going to attack because I don't want you guys wasting time. We are not paid by the hour. We are paid by the deal. We are paid by using our brain power up here. Okay. The next biggest issue I see when we talk about doing a deal or no deal, it's comp. Okay. Comps are a range. It's never a dead set number. It does not work that way. Okay. Typically, I like to take the comps. Usually it's like to do it within a 1 mile radius. Sometimes you have to tighten it up. Sometimes you have to expand it depending on what size area you're in. And then basically from there, once we have the comps, I like to take the high one, throw it out. I like to take the low one and throw it out. And then I have a range. So maybe my range is 125 to 135. Okay. Comps are always a range unless you have 5 of the exact same houses, same square footage on the same block. Most likely it's going to be a range. And remember, the range on the houses depends on the condition of the house, the upgrades in the house, and the seller's attitude about the house. So that you have to understand. And you see what I have in parentheses here? 5 to 10 minutes. That's all you should spend on pulling a comp. If you spend any more time on pulling a comp, I'm talking about it. You can use PropStream. You can use Batch. We recommend both because we use them both in our business because we want the best of the best. Some of you like PropStream. It's simple. Batch has a few more bells and whistles. Listen, find the one that works for you. They're very effective. We are the only people on YouTube that I know of that offer both. Why? Because why would I pin one product against the other? They're both great. So the more we push them, the better you guys get, the better the products get, and everybody wins. And nobody feels like they're like, oh, I have to do this one. I have to do that one. So when we see good stuff, we throw it out there. If I'm purely going to recommend something based on my allegiance to a company, that means I'm allegiant to the company, not to my viewers. And for that reason is why I always offer you guys options. So anybody offering Batch should be offering PropStream and vice versa. And if they don't, I don't understand it. Like they're companies. We don't own them. I already told you, I don't want to own and run a software company. It's very hard and laborious. And I leave it to people that are in computing, in software, into coding. And that's never going to be an investor. Trust me, my strong space is dealing with sellers, dealing with motivated sellers, and helping you guys out. So for that reason, I find the best of the best. The 2 best companies out there doing it. That's why me and Zach offer them. And we've been using it for years and we've had great results. So pick what you want. The fact that we're neutral should help you in making choices on who you want to take advice. But guys, with these tools and software, 5-10 minutes max. And honestly, it's not a requirement. I don't need to sell you anything. I'm just letting you know the tools are there for you to help out. And honestly, if you're spending more than 5 to 10 minutes on comps, you're spending way too much time on comps. Okay. So cut it down. Boy, this is like really basic stuff. This one's like really important because we just kicked us to the curb. You guys somebody's got to verify the property condition. Okay. So many times we get a number, we get what we think the ARV is. We got an idea. We're flirting around with an offer And then we always say, if we're virtual, hey, if everything checks out with the house, that price is good to go. And then you get somebody over there and find out the house is completely trashed. So many times we play around with the numbers until somebody goes out and physically puts their eyes on that property. You're never quite sure if you have a deal. Now, you can put it on deal to save your deal, but at some point you will have to take that extra step and do some sort of verification. Walking through one house can change your deal from 30 to 80 grand with its eyes shut on an average property. So I never get super excited until somebody actually puts their eyes on the property. A lot of you guys are skipping this part and just when you sell virtually. And if you have buyers that do not want to take action or they freak out with you and you've brought 3 or 4 through there, I promise you you probably paid too much for the property and you didn't verify the damage on it. And that's why your deal's not working. So if you can take this extra step of having somebody go out and look at the property, you can say, hey, Rick, how do I do that? If you're doing it virtually, hire someone, use Craigslist, use Facebook Marketplace, have someone take pictures. The idea is you just want them to go in and take pictures and not upset the seller. And when you get the pictures back, once they upload it to them, you can basically Venmo them or Zelle them like $50 or $75, and you'll know exactly where you stand with the property and ask their opinion. Did the property smell? I would have a basic questionnaire for them, and that's it. So guys, as basic as these 3 elements sound, these are always going to be the biggest problem I find when I'm trying to help you guys on like deal or no deal. I'm sorry. I'm trying to, hold on guys. I'm moving here. See, I'm always working on real estate and doing stuff. So verify the property condition. Comps are in a range. There's a bookend. There's a high and there's a low, and the comps should never take you more than 5 or 10 minutes. And for God's sakes, make sure that you seek out the motivation first before you do these other 2 things. Once I have those, then we're always good to go. Hold on.